Elisabeth Moss got herself into some shenanigans as her super abusive, super smart, and super scary ex-boyfriend has turned himself invisible, or so she suspects. This is the Effin' Nerds review of The Invisible Man.
Where are you? Show yourself!
Surprise. Let me help you.
You can't help me. Surprise.
All right, so Invisible Man. Saw it yesterday.
Saw it last night.
In IMAX.
At the AMC Lincoln Square 13 IMAX, which is one of my favorite places in the world.
Awesome
that place
theater.
is awesome. I love going there. Always a good time. The IMAX is the shit.
The shit. So, general thoughts. What did you think?
I gotta be 100% honest. I was a little underwhelmed. I know we spoke about it afterwards, but yes, I think unfortunately some of the hype might have gotten to me, and I kind of heightened my expectations. But aside from that, I was underwhelmed, and I told you this last night, which you completely disagree with, but to me, it felt more like a Redbox special.
Which is so disrespectful.
Maybe, and I apologize if I'm offending anyone, but it felt like a Redbox special, kind of like those sort of mid-2000s like remakes or thrillers, like The Roommate with like Minka Kelly and Leighton.
Stop it,
bro! I'm being honest. Like that's what it felt like. That's the vibes I got. Or like The Stepfather, the remake with like Amber Heard.
No.
I got those early kind of B movie level type of vibes. But there is some stuff that I did like about it. But overall, underwhelming and some sort of Redbox special eyes. And I know all about Redbox specials.
I know you know our Redbox specials.
I used to crush those Redbox DVDs back in the day. There was one like 3 blocks away from me, which was very dangerous. But yeah, bro, what did you think?
Really enjoyed it. Not completely perfect. I do have some flaws, but overall, really thought that it really like brought it home for me. I was really impressed with Leigh Whannell's directing. Mm-hmm. Elisabeth Moss absolutely crushed it. And quite honestly, the camera work was really fantastic. Like I've never really seen like an empty frame like so menacing before. The film does a really good job building tension by just staring at blank spaces. Yeah, like like you're.
Yeah, it does a good job of putting you in her head.
Right.
Of what's happening.
And like some of the coolest stuff is where like you're focused on like the actors, and then all of a sudden the camera just starts to pan to an empty spot of the room and it holds it.
You're like, is he there?
Like, is he there?
What is he
and
doing?
You're just staring. You're trying to find like movements. Like is he really there? Is he not? And like it just does a really good job of that. And I was also like, see, you say Redbox special, but I was the complete opposite. I was actually appreciative of how much they took this movie seriously. Mm-hmm. And it didn't come off to me as like cheesy, almost like if I'm going to compare it to Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon, even though that's fun in like a guilty pleasure sort of way, right. It's a completely ridiculous movie. This at least kind of grounds it in like, like abusive relationships. That's kind of like the forefront of what this movie's really about. I mean,
this is maybe a little fucked up to say, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to find it relatable.
Oh, 100%.
There are people, and it could be just that much more terrifying to them. Mm-hmm. I just had some issues with some of the writing, some of the acting, and some of the execution. But those are some of my cons. But in terms of pros, I do agree with you that some of the camera work is really well done. And Leigh Whannell also brought some of his upgrade flavor into this movie. There's a scene in it, which is shown in the trailer, but it's in the hospital.
Oh, you're talking about in the hospital?
The hospital, yeah. When pretty much it's very, the way that it moves, like the camera moves with the subject.
It's very kinetic and
very
fluid.
Upgrade, like super upgrade. And I know you said this last night, which I agree with you, that there are some sort of like sci-fi vibes in it, which I did enjoy.
Which I really thought was cool.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not the biggest Kate Moss fan. Like I think she's fine. I think Elisabeth Moss. I'm sorry. This one came completely different.
We were talking about that yesterday too.
Yeah. Like, is she related?
Is she related?
Just for shits and gigs. Is she related to Kate Moss? Like, yeah, Josh, of course. But shout out to Josh. I love Josh. That's shout out Josh. But yeah, I think I'm not the biggest. I think there's a lot of hype around her. And I don't really understand why, just to be honest. Maybe it's Handmaid's Tale. Maybe it's Mad Men. Like, I thought she was fine in Mad Men, and we were talking about Her Smell before.
Yeah.
Which she was good in it, even though I personally didn't like the movie. I thought she did a good job in it, but she does have this sort of like following, and I assume it's from Handmaid's Tale, which I haven't seen, to be honest.
I haven't yet either.
But I thought she did a good job. I thought she was the only kind of sort of acting standpoint in the movie. I thought I had some issues with some of the other characters and some of the other actors and actresses, but yeah, overall, I unfortunately did kind of get those red box vibes, but there was a lot. There was a lot to love in this movie. There was a lot that I enjoyed and a lot that I got from it.
Yeah, I would also agree with you that I think that this is an acting showcase for Elisabeth Moss. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like she's at the forefront of everything, and I think if she doesn't commit to the role as much as she did, the movie falls completely flat, because there's plenty of times where she's acting in empty rooms with nothing there. And
I think she almost found her niche in this. I don't know how to. The only way I can really picture is sort of like damaged, kind of traumatizing roles.
Right.
And you know, good for her if that's her. Because she said it in Kimmel. She's like, "This is my jam."
Right.
She had an interview on Kimmel where she's like, this kind of stuff is what I'm about.
She loves working in this area.
Right. So if that's for her, then go for it, because I did think she was great, and I did think that whatever positives were kind of in the movie were sort of anchored by her.
Yes. Now, in terms of, you know, like for everything that I did, I would also like to praise the score and sound design. The score was done by Benjamin Wallfish, who is also
some of those strings, man.
Yeah, well, he's
awesome.
worked with Hans Zimmer, and they together tag teamed on the Blade Runner 2049 score. And I don't know if you noticed, but there were 2 instances where you just heard a couple moments that were just like Blade Runner.
I noticed that.
Yes,
I noticed it.
And I'm pretty sure that it was anytime she went into the lab in the big mansion.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was
100%.
like as soon as we go into the most sci-fi section of
you
the
get
movie,
that.
you get that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Really cool. And then just the sound design was also like really great.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of negatives, even though like I thought the script was good, there are some questions and like inconsistencies that you can find and you can like really pick out. And I think it's one of those things that it just falls under movie logic. And, you know, certain characters have to get from point A to point B.
Right.
The transportation's a bit of a mystery. And also, like, I feel like certain things happen.
The John Wick, as we call it, as he goes from 66th Street all the way to World Trade Center in a total of 2 fucking minutes.
2 minutes, yeah. Which is impossible, but it's John Wick, so he can do it.
Of course.
And then on top of that, there's also certain things that happen in the movie where I'm like, I think if there's at least one good working security camera, you could probably dispel what happens in certain scenes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I'm nitpicking about it. It doesn't detract from my enjoyment of the movie. I still had a blast with it. And there is one specific moment.
I know exactly what you're talking about, which is amazing.
Without giving it away, but it is perfect.
It is an incredible scene. And I can't go through all my movie theater experiences, but it's definitely one of the most like impactful movie theater experiences I've ever had in my life, where I was just like, my jaw dropped.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure like I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
It's one of those, like, if you want to know how to do a perfect horror scene, that's how you do it.
Like literally, like, take your breath away. Like that shit for sure, like, took it away.
Yeah.
Actually, a little side fun. I think this is the first time we've seen a horror movie together.
I think so
theaters.
too.
Yeah. Oh,
really cool.
Look at us, Nikki, sharing something together. Look at us. Who would have thought? Yeah. Yeah, but just almost to kind of play a little... Oh, I know, like, I'm probably the one who liked the lesser out of both of us, but to play a little devil's advocate to what you were saying before in terms of sort of the inconsistencies, I think the film in itself is kind of a bit of an ambiguous film, because some things are kind of... You're kind of walking out of the movie theater almost asking a lot of questions, like, wait, what would, like, is it this? Was it that? Was it this person? Was this person? So I think that some of those sort of inconsistencies you were talking about could possibly be kind of clarified in those questions that you asked. Like, they're not answered, but you could make the argument that
they're purposely not answered.
Exactly. I think there is a little bit of ambiguity to it, and I think it was on purpose, because I still don't. There's still some shit that I don't know.
Right, and then also too, like those scenes where you're wondering if somebody's there. Maybe they're not. Maybe the Invisible Man is not there.
Right, or not just like, I don't want to get into too much spoiler territory, but like.
You talk about like the ending, like the way,
right? Yeah. So like, maybe
it leaves it a little open-ended.
It could have been something else. Like, we don't know. But there were some twists in the movie, some that worked, some that didn't work. But yeah, overall, I did find the movie to be a little underwhelming, and I believe we're gonna kind of rate the movie now.
Yeah.
And I think the way we're going to essentially rate it is, for now, because we're still kind of getting our shit together, we're still figuring it out.
Still figuring things out.
It's still kind of pilot season, folks. We're still kind of learning. But I think for now we're essentially going to go off of the RT score, see how we agree with it.
Right.
And
so
just pretty much give it our own score.
Yeah. Currently on Rotten Tomatoes, The Invisible Man has a 91% critics rating. It is certified fresh. And the audience score matches that with a 91%. So, do you? I know you disagree with the RT score.
I do disagree with it, but that doesn't mean But that makes me happy that it's that high. That makes me happy that it's high. That makes me happy that people are loving it, because I'm a huge horror thriller movie slut, and I'm all about these movies doing well, being critically received well, being received well by the audience, because it just keeps them going.
Right.
And the more horror scary movies, the better, at least for me. I know some people don't like it, but I'm all about it. And no, I don't agree with the RT score. I think 90 is high. I will put it more at like a 65.
Okay.
For me. Yeah, I'll put like a solid 6 Actually, no. That's a rookie score. Let's do 67.
67?
6.7, yeah.
Okay.
6.7 out of 10.
All right, so 67% still fresh.
It's still fresh.
Still
right?
fresh. So I'm going to probably go with an 82% fresh. A little bit lower than what Upgrade is currently on here, because I think Upgrade for me is Leigh Whannell's best movie.
Yeah.
I love Upgrade. Upgrade is an absolute gem. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Such an underrated gem too. I feel like it's still kind of finding its footing, but definitely go check out Upgrade. It's a fantastic film. And now there's talks about a sequel.
There is talks about a sequel.
So you gotta go watch it so you can know what's going on in the sequel.
Absolutely. But yeah, really, really enjoyed the movie. Would love to see Universal continue making these like Universal monsters, but in this kind of style, like almost like really taking it very seriously, more horror aspect, keep with the R rating, don't try to do what they did with Tom Cruise's The Mummy.
Exactly. Develop your characters and your monsters first, and then bring them together down the road.
Which I think we're going to do a spoiler review for this, and I think we should go into if there is the possibility of a sequel the way
Bro,
I
am so down. Let's do it.
All right.
So that's our non-spoiler filled review of The Invisible Man. If you have not seen the movie, you can enjoy this video. Then after you watch this video, go watch it, enjoy it or not, make up your own opinion, and then come back and watch the spoiler filled review of my thoughts and
my thoughts.
And we will see you guys next time.